The edge of extinction. The darkness between stars had never felt so oppressive. Captain Kira Hayes stood on the bridge of the UES Phoenix, staring at the holographic display that showed humanity's rapidly shrinking territory. The Meridian Alliance, Earth and its 17 colony worlds, had once seemed like an impressive achievement, the culmination of 3 centuries of expansion. Now it looked pathetically small against the vastness of the galaxy, and even that was being stripped away, planet by planet. "Status report on New Sydney," Kira asked, her voice steady despite the dread coiling in her stomach. Lieutenant Commander Marcus Way swiped through data streams at his console, his expression grim. "Orbital defenses breached 40 minutes ago. Ground forces reporting 90% casualties. Civilian evacuation at only 15% completion when communications went dark. Another world lost. 2 billion souls." Kira closed her eyes briefly, adding them to the mental tally she'd been keeping since this nightmare began 3 months ago. "That's the 4th colony world this month," Executive Officer Darius Chen said quietly beside her. "At this rate, we'll be pushed back to Earth within weeks." Kira didn't need the reminder. The Voidborn, as humanity had designated them, had emerged from the unexplored regions beyond the Perseus Arm without warning. Their first transmission still haunted her dreams, a cacophony of overlapping voices speaking perfect English, with an uncanny understanding of human psychology. "Your expansion ends," they had declared across every communication channel simultaneously. "Your technology offends. Your existence is temporary. You will be removed. No negotiations, no demands, just cold, methodical extermination." The Phoenix was humanity's desperate gamble, an experimental warship with technologies deemed too dangerous for conventional deployment. Quantum-entangled targeting systems, probability drives that allowed for impossible maneuvers, an adaptive AI named Iris that bordered on true sentience, which violated at least 3 treaties on artificial intelligence limitations. "Captain," Iris's measured voice emerged from the ship's speakers. "Central Command is broadcasting new orders on emergency channels." The holographic display shifted to show Fleet Admiral Takahashi, his face etched with lines that hadn't been there a month ago. "All vessels, fall back to Earth defense perimeter immediately. I repeat, all vessels withdraw to Sol system. The Council has authorized final protocol preparations." Kira's blood ran cold. Final protocol meant antimatter bombardment of human worlds to prevent capture, a scorched Earth policy on a stellar scale. "They're giving up," White whispered. Darius shook his head. "They're being realistic. The Meridian Defense Fleet is down to 17% strength." Kira studied the tactical display, focusing on the Voidborn fleet's movement patterns. Something had been nagging at her for weeks, an inconsistency in their methodical advance. "Iris, overlay all Voidborn fleet movements from first contact to present." The AI complied, and the holographic display filled with red trajectory lines. Most converged on human population centers, but several detoured dramatically, adding weeks to their campaign for no apparent strategic purpose. "There," Kira pointed. "They're avoiding this entire sector. Why?" Iris analyzed the data. The avoided region contains the Caldera Nebula, a remnant of a hypernova that occurred approximately 50,000 years ago. "What's in that nebula that would concern a species capable of wiping us out?" Kira mused. Darius leaned forward. "You're not considering." "Plot a course for the Caldera Nebula," Kira ordered. "Maximum stealth protocols." "Captain," Why protested, "those are direct orders from Fleet Admiral Takahashi to return to Earth." Kira met his gaze. "And by the time we get there, humanity might not exist anymore. We need an advantage, anything, or we're just delaying the inevitable." The bridge fell silent. They all knew she was right. "Course plotted," Iris announced. "Stealth systems engage. We will reach the nebula's outer boundary in 14 hours." The Phoenix slipped away from the evacuation lanes, its experimental stealth systems rendering it nearly invisible against the backdrop of space. As Earth and its remaining colonies prepared for what could be humanity's final stand, the Phoenix ventured into unknown territory, seeking a miracle. The Caldera Nebula lived up to its name, a vast cauldron of swirling gases, radiation, and stellar debris. Navigating its outer regions proved challenging. Venturing deeper seemed suicidal. "Sensors are barely functioning," Wei reported. "Radiation levels are off the charts." "Iris, can you compensate?" Kira asked. "Partially," the AI responded. "I am detecting unusual energy patterns approximately 3 light minutes ahead." Kira ordered the ship forward. The Phoenix's advanced shields strained against the nebula's fury, but held. As they penetrated deeper, the sensors detected a massive structure, artificial, ancient, and clearly not of human origin. "It appears to be a containment facility," Iris analyzed, operating despite being approximately 48,000 years old. Before Kira could respond, proximity alarms blared. 3 voidborn vessels had appeared behind them, having somehow tracked the Phoenix through the nebula. "Evasive maneuvers," Kira ordered, but she knew they were outmatched. The Phoenix was advanced, but it wasn't designed to face multiple voidborn warships. The first barrage hit them with devastating precision. The Phoenix's shields collapsed, and the ship shuddered as armor plating vaporized. "Main power failing," Wei reported through gritted teeth. "Weapons systems offline." Kira watched as the voidborn ships moved to surround them, closing in for the kill. In that moment, facing certain death, her mind made connections that had eluded her before. "They're not here to kill us," she realized aloud. "They're protecting this place. Iris, direct all remaining power to the main cannon and target the containment facility." "Captain," Darius questioned. "It's the only play we have," Kira explained. "Whatever's in that facility, they don't want it released." "Power diverted," Iris confirmed. "We have one shot." "Fire." The Phoenix's main cannon discharged its final energy reserves in a blinding beam that struck the ancient facility. For a moment, nothing happened. Then reality itself seemed to convulse. The facility's containment fields collapsed, releasing whatever had been imprisoned for millennia. The voidborn ships immediately broke off their attack on the Phoenix, turning instead to face the emerging threat. "What did we just release?" Darius asked, staring at the readings. "I don't know," Kira admitted, "but the Voidborn are terrified of it, and that's good enough for me." What emerged from the facility wasn't a creature or a weapon in any conventional sense. It was energy, pure, sentient energy that the ship's sensors struggled to define. It engulfed the nearest Voidborn vessel, seeming to feed on its technology. Within seconds, the mighty warship went dark, drifting lifelessly. The remaining Voidborn ships retreated, abandoning the Phoenix. "They're transmitting on all frequencies," Wei reported, astonished. It's a distress call." Kira watched as the energy entity consumed the disabled Voidborn ship, growing stronger. "Iris, can you communicate with it?" "Attempting," the eye replied. After several moments, Iris continued. "It identifies itself as a sentinel, created to contain what it calls the technological abomination. Based on limited translation, I believe it views the Voidborn as descendants of its ancient enemy. A predator that hunted the Voidborn. An ally born from an ancient war. Can we guide it?" Kira asked. "It appears willing to follow us," Iris responded. "It perceives similarities between our technology and that of its creators." For the first time in months, Kira felt something close to hope. "Plot a course to the nearest Voidborn fleet concentration. We're taking our new friend hunting." The Phoenix limped away from the nebula, trailing radiation and venting atmosphere from multiple hull breaches. Behind it followed the Sentinel, a shimmer of lethal energy eager for its next meal. Humanity had found its equalizer. From prey to predator. The Phoenix's return to Earth space caused more panic than celebration. Trailing an entity of unknown origin and power while broadcasting on emergency channels wasn't the homecoming Kira had envisioned. It took personal intervention from Admiral Takahashi to prevent defense platforms from opening fire. In the 2 weeks since their discovery in the Caldera Nebula, the situation had deteriorated further. Earth now stood nearly alone, with only the inner colony still holding against the Voidborn advance. Final protocol had been executed on 3 outer worlds rather than allowing them to fall intact. The Phoenix docked at Orbital Station Artemis, it tall-skirted beyond recognition. As Kira stepped onto the station, she was immediately surrounded by security personnel and escorted to a sealed conference room where the Joint Military Council awaited. "You disobeyed direct orders, Captain Hayes," Admiral Takahashi began, his tone severe but lacking true anger. "Under normal circumstances, that would mean court-martial." "These aren't normal circumstances," Kira replied simply. "No," he agreed, "they're not. Which is why instead of a tribunal, you're meeting with the council." "Tell us about this." "Sentinel." Kira explained everything. The nebula, the ancient facility, the Voidborn's obvious fear of what they had found. The council listened in tense silence. "We've confirmed the entity has destroyed 7 Voidborn vessels since you brought it back," the military intelligence director noted. "It appears to ignore our ships entirely. It hunts their technology specifically," Kira explained. "Iris believes the Voidborn use quantum-entangled consciousness, essentially uploading their minds into their ships and weapons. The Sentinel was created to destroy that specific technology. One entity won't turn the tide of this war," the Earth Defense Minister said grimly. "Even with it hunting them, we're losing too much, too quickly." "That's where Dr. Chen comes in," Admiral Takahashi said, nodding toward a slight woman at the end of the table who had been silent until now. Dr. Ilara Chen was legendary in scientific circles, the architect behind many of the Phoenix's experimental systems, and quite possibly the most brilliant mind humanity had produced in generations. "The Sentinel isn't just a weapon," Dr. Chen explained, her voice soft but intense. "It's a template. Its energy signature can be replicated and integrated into our own systems. I've been analyzing the data IRS collected, and I believe we can modify the Phoenix to channel similar capabilities." Kira stared at her. "You want to turn my ship into a Sentinel?" "Not exactly," Dr. Chen clarified. "But I can give your weapons its appetite for Voidborn tech. It's risky. The modifications might overload your systems or worse. But we're out of options," Kira finished for her. "How long will it take?" 3 days, if I have unlimited resources." Admiral Takahashi nodded. "You have them." For 72 hours, the Phoenix underwent dramatic transformation. Dr. Chen and her team worked relentlessly, integrating Sentinel energy patterns into the ship's weapons and defensive systems. Iris's core programming was enhanced to channel and control the alien technology. Kira hardly left the ship, watching as it became something new, not quite human, not quite Sentinel, but potentially more dangerous than either. "We've never tested anything like this," Dr. Chen admitted during a rare break. "The energy patterns are evolving faster than we can analyze them. Your eye is the only system sophisticated enough to manage them without destabilizing. Iris won't let us down," Kira assured her, hoping her confidence was justified. On the 3rd day, as the modifications neared completion, the proximity alarms sounded throughout Earth's defense grid. A massive Voidborn fleet had arrived, larger than any previously encountered. "They must have detected what we're doing," we suggested as the bridge crew rushed to stations. "Or they're finally making their push for Earth," Darius countered. Either way, the Phoenix wasn't ready. The weapons integration was at 89%, and IRS was still calibrating the new systems. Admiral Takahashi's face appeared on the main display. "The fleet's not waiting for you, Captain. We're engaging now. Join when you can, if you can." Earth's remaining defense forces moved to intercept the Voidborn armada. Ships that had once been the pride of human engineering now seemed pitifully inadequate against the overwhelming alien force. "Dr. Chen, we need those weapons now," Kira urged. "They're not stable," the scientist protested. The energy could backfire, destroy the Phoenix entirely. If we don't try, Earth falls today, Kira replied. Iris, status. Integration at 93%. Probability of successful deployment, 41.7%. Less than coin flip odds. Kira had gambled with worse. Unlock all safeties. Prepare for combat launch. The Phoenix disengaged from the station, its hull glowing with unusual energy patterns where the Sentinel technology had been integrated. As they accelerated toward the battle, Kira could see Earth's defense fleet already taking heavy losses. Target the Voidborn command vessel, she ordered. Full power to forward weapons. Captain, Iris interjected. Sensors indicate the Voidborn are converging to create a trap. They are aware of our modifications and have adapted their strategy. Of course they had. The Voidborn had been fighting Sentinel technology for millennia. They wouldn't be caught unprepared twice. They're baiting us, Darius warned. Then we'll disappoint them, Kira decided. New plan. Ignore the command ship. Target their support vessels, the ones receiving tactical updates. As the Phoenix entered the battle, the Voidborn strategy became clear. Their ships formed a perfect kill zone, ready to concentrate fire on the modified human vessel the moment it committed to an attack run. Divert power from weapons to engines, Kira ordered. Iris, plot an evasion course that brings us within range of their coordination nodes, but avoids their primary weapons. Course plotted. However, this maneuver will expose our starboard section to incoming fire. Do it anyway. The Phoenix accelerated, its new engines pushing far beyond human specifications. The ship twisted through space in maneuvers that should have torn it apart or liquefied its crew. Only the Sentinel-enhanced inertial dampeners kept them alive. The Voidborn firing solution missed by meters. Before they could recalibrate, the Phoenix was among their support ships, weapons hot. Fire. The Phoenix's weapons discharge, not the familiar energy beams of human technology, but tendrils of sentient light that reached out like hungry fingers. When they touched the Voidborn ships, they didn't explode or breach. They simply went dark, their systems consumed from within. It's working, Wei exclaimed. Voidborn vessels adjusting formation, Iris reported. They appear to be attempting to isolate affected ships. Don't let them, Kira commanded. Stay on them. The Phoenix wove through the battle, a predator among what had once been apex hunters. Each touch of its weapons left Voidborn ships powerless, adrift. The tide began to turn as human forces rallied, targeting the disabled alien vessels. Then the Voidborn changed tactics. They're sacrificing their own ships. Darius observed in horror as several Voidborn vessels deliberately collided with disabled companions, destroying both in massive explosions. They're trying to deny us access to their technology, Kira realized. Iris, are you still gathering data on their systems? Affirmative. Each engagement enhances my understanding of their neural architecture. On the main view screen, Kira watched as the massive Voidborn command vessel began to retreat, pulling surviving ships back with it. They're running, Wei said, disbelief evident in his voice. Not running, Kira corrected. Calculating. They're not used to being hunted. For 3 agonizing hours, the battle continued as the Phoenix pursued the retreating Voidborn forces. Earth's fleet, emboldened by the alien retreat, pressed the advantage. More Voidborn ships fell dark, their consciousness-based technology consumed by the Sentinel energy. Then something unprecedented happened. Captain, Iris announced, I am receiving a transmission from the Voidborn command vessel. They are requesting cessation of hostilities. The bridge fell silent. They want to surrender, Darius asked incredulously. No, Iris clarified. They are proposing mutual withdrawal. They will exit human space if we agree not to pursue. Kira stared at the tactical display, hardly believing what she was hearing. The species that had declared humanity's existence offensive, that had methodically exterminated millions, was now asking for peace. Put them through, she ordered. The view screen filled with shifting patterns of light, the closest thing to a visual representation of the voidborn consciousness. You have awakened the ancient enemy, the overlapping voices stated. You have become vessel for the devourer. This conflict cannot continue. You started this war, Kira responded. You came to our space. You slaughtered our people. Your technology was evolving toward abomination. Prevention was necessary. Now you have become worse. You have become like those before. Kira glanced at Iris's status display. The AI was absorbing tremendous amounts of data from this direct communication. These are our terms, Kira stated firmly. You will withdraw from all human space. You will return any human prisoners. You will provide reparations for the worlds you destroyed. Impossible demands. Then we continue until your entire species joins the ones we've already taken. A long pause followed. We will withdraw. We will return captives. Reparations will be discussed. Admiral Takahashi's voice cut in through a secure channel. Accept it, Captain. We need time to rebuild. Kira nodded slightly. We accept your withdrawal. But know this, if you return, what you've seen today will seem merciful compared to what awaits you. The transmission ended. Across the battle space, voidborn vessels began disengaging, retreating toward the edge of the system. In the weeks that followed, humanity assessed what remained of its civilization. The price had been catastrophic. Billions dead, planets rendered uninhabitable, countless species extinct. But they had survived, and more importantly, they had discovered something fundamental about the galaxy. Everything feared something. The Phoenix became the template for a new class of vessels. Dr. Chen's work earned her the highest civilian honors, and Iris's enhanced architecture led to breakthroughs in artificial intelligence that would have been deemed too dangerous before the war. As for Captain Kira Hayes, she declined promotion to Admiral, requesting instead to remain with the Phoenix as it led exploration missions into the regions beyond the Perseus Arm. The Voidborn had come from somewhere, and other threats might lurk in the darkness between stars. Humanity had been forced to evolve, to become something more dangerous than it had been. The galaxy would never again mistake them for easy prey. In the observation lounge of the Phoenix, Kira stood before the viewport, watching the stars streak by as they ventured into unknown space. Iris's voice emerged softly from nearby speakers. Captain, long-range sensors are detecting unusual energy patterns consistent with ancient technology, similar architecture to the Caldera facility. Kira smiled slightly. Plot a course. Let's see what other secrets the universe has been keeping. Behind them, Earth grew smaller but remained safe, at least for now. The predators had become the hunted, and humanity had found its place among the stars, not as conquerors, not as victims, but as a force to be respected and feared.